Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. You guys might actually see this video earlier. I'm actually recording this video Monday afternoon for Tuesday morning. And I really want to get this video out while this story is hot. Okay, so lately I've been going through the news stories and I've had a hard time finding anything going on in the world that I wanted to talk about here on my channel. And so from time to time, every couple hours, I'll check the news feed, see what's going on in the world. And I went to Twitter, or X, Monday, Labor Day, and there was a few topics trending. I check and see what's trending on Twitter. And man, have I got a story for you. Okay, the MAGA world, the Trumper world, is all abuzz. Okay, and I need to talk about this. I'm going to give you guys my view of what I'm going to tell you about. Okay, the MAGA world is all a buzz. Now, the story is, this is what they're sharing with each other. I'll put some of these posts that I'm talking about from X. I'll put the links right down below so you could see the exact posts that I'm talking about, and I'll use them on my thumbnail. Okay, so the MAGA world is all a buzz that supposedly there is a motorcycle club or group, and I don't like, it's my personal policy not to use the names of these clubs, to keep the names of these clubs, as they like to be called, out of my mouth. You know, and I learned this policy back when I used to hang out with these particular clubs. You know, I don't go around just spouting off, throwing around the name of these different clubs. So I'm gonna, for this video, I'm gonna call it 81. The club, otherwise known as 81, red and white, HA. That's about as, I think by now you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the MAGA world is all a buzz that HA or 81 is like the heroes. They're all, supposedly the story is that this motorcycle club is mounting up and heading to Aurora, Colorado, to clean out the Venezuelan gangs that are supposedly taking over apartment complexes. Now, if you're out of the loop here, this story's been trending on Twitter or X, and as far as I could tell, it's grossly exaggerated that these certain immigrant Venezuelan gangs have taken over whole apartment complexes. They're armed, and the citizens are hiding in their apartments. Another interesting fact that I've read on Twitter or on X is that the mayor and the town council of Aurora happen to be Republican. Okay, so before they start going blaming Democrats for all this. So supposedly there's these armed Venezuelan gangs, and there's a couple videos and a couple pictures of what they say is going on. Okay, so this whole story is questionable, whether this is really going on or not. And supposedly the police aren't doing anything about it because of Kamala Harris or Biden or whatever. Okay, so here's the story now that the whole MAGA world is all a buzz about. That this certain motorcycle club is coming to do the work for them. And all over X, there's people claiming to see the motorcycles headed to Aurora, Colorado. You know, so they're coming to be saved. It's like the Avengers. They're coming to do what the police, the liberal police can't. You know, they're going to clean these Venezuelan illegal immigrant gangs out of the apartment complex. So the MAGA world is all abuzz about this. And this is the thing that I'm going to talk about, is the way that they are portraying. I'm not going to speak badly of these motorcycle clubs, but they obviously don't understand anything about these clubs. All right, so this is all over X, all over Twitter. Now, here's the other part of the story. They claim to be seeing these motorcycles, all the club headed to Aurora, Colorado. But here's the thing: there's actually a motorcycle rally in Colorado, in around the Aurora area. I think it's called Four Corners Motorcycle Rally or something like that. So that, more than likely, that's where all these motorcycles are headed to. I mean, there's pictures from Dublin, Ireland, saying the chapter from Ireland, from Dublin, is headed to Aurora, Colorado, and MAGA is all, you know, cheering them on. You know, these real men, these real American heroes are coming to clean out the immigrant Venezuelan gangs. and they're holding this club up as true Americans. Probably because did you ever see that picture of Trump trying to look tough at the White House, and he's making one of those faces like he's all tough with the bikers. I'm not a fan of bikers. Okay, let me give you my impression of what these clubs are really about. I'm not going to speak badly here, but I used to hang out like on a regular basis, nightly, weekly, at after hours clubs that were owned by motorcycle gangs. Okay, they owned or they rented these buildings, and they would run a bar. They'd have like an after hours illegal nightclub, and pretty much all the different clubs do this. Okay, and I want to ask these MAGA enthusiasts, these Trumpers, how do you think these clubs earn money? These guys, the majority of them do not work. The clubs I went to here in Connecticut, there was a chapter in Bridgeport of HA of 81. I went to that one. There's other chapters of the Outlaws, of the Mongols, of, I shouldn't even be saying these names. There's a few other ones. And this is the way, how do you think these guys earn money? How do you think they buy their motorcycles? How do you think they rent their clubhouses? They don't work as mailmen during the week. The way I used to go to these clubs, and a lot of times I was friends with a lot of these guys that were in these gangs. And they would have this thing on Friday night, this club that I was close with. And they'd have this thing called church. They'd go to church, and this is where all the members were required to go. And none of the people like me, I'd have to leave. I'd get kicked out because it was a private meeting. But I knew some of the stuff that went on there. How do you think now these MAGA enthusiasts are all portraying these clubs, coming to save the people of Aurora, Colorado as heroes, how do you think they make the money? These clubs that I used to hang out with made money mainly through drug dealing, mainly through cocaine. They would buy large amounts of it, and at this church thing Friday nights they would break it up, and I mean large amounts. Human trafficking. Seriously, they're women. They would put their women to work, or some women to work. And the way these MAGA enthusiasts are portraying, like this is their heroes, that they're coming to save them. I don't think these clubs are who these MAGA enthusiasts think they are. They deal in arms. They deal in illegal drugs, and they deal in people. That's how they make their money, as far as I know. The clubs that I used to go to, I saw this. I know this. Some of the things I saw. One of the things I saw, they would have these new people called prospects. The new members in the club. And one of the things they'd have the members do, they had this one. I felt so bad for this woman, but she volunteered to do this. She was a big, hefty, overweight woman that didn't shower a lot. And they would require the new prospects to service her in front of all the other club members on the pool table. I was actually unfortunate enough to witness this. It was one of the most terrible, god-awful things I've ever seen. I'm just telling you guys this because the way these Trumpers, these MAGA enthusiasts, are portraying this club 81 or HA as being like the saviors coming to save them. They are more likely to be working with Venezuelan gangs or other gangs in their businesses than going to fight them. How do you think these guys make their money? They don't work as doctors and lawyers or mailmen. You don't see them collecting money out in front of the local grocery store, passing out like those what's it, the VFW, the little flowers. Like, hey, you got $1? I think you can contribute some funds. No, that's not how they earn their money. I used to see this every week. These guys deal in guns, drugs, and people. And or that's their business. That's what they do. And in California, I know one of their biggest businesses is running crystal. You know, if you think these are your saviors coming to save you, this supposed story about Venezuelan immigrants taking over apartment complexes, these people are such idiots that they believe all this stuff. You know, if HA actually does show up in Aurora, Colorado, which I would bet money they're not, but I'll look like a fool. But I don't think the people of Aurora will be particularly happy with the outcome. Idiots. The links will be down below so you can see this yourselves. Like I said, it's crazy. It's insanity. Have a good Tuesday.